Consecutive integers. Consecutive integers are numbers in counting order. 5, 6, 7. 72, 73, 74. Consecutive means right in a row. Okay? So the thing about this is we have 3 types of consecutive integers. Consecutive integers are numbers in counting order. They are bing, bing, bing. Numbers in counting order. Pause for a second. Integer, integer, integer. What's an integer? Hey, say it again. More specific.
Whole number and a negative whole number.
Very good. A positive or negative whole number. So the beauty of today, will you deal with decimals? If you do, you screwed up.
Yay.
Nope. Positive or negative whole numbers. When you take a fraction and you divide it, is it a positive or negative whole number?
No.
Then nope, you won't deal with it. Okay? So every time we deal with counting numbers, I'm going to give you an example, okay? 3, 4, 5 are consecutive integers. 3 numbers right in a row, whole numbers. If I was going to represent this by symbols, I always start with n. Always. So really, n is like a number 3 for us. How could I represent 4 based off of n? No. 3 is n. How can I represent 4 based off of n? N plus 1. Right? If we take 3 and we add 1, I'll be at 4. Now think before you shout. Raise your hand if you know this answer. I need to represent 5 based off of n. Savannah. N plus 2. So consecutive integers are bing, bing, bing. You're adding 1 to get to the next. Plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So we could continue this. Plus 3, n plus 4, n plus 5, whatever you need. You always start at n. N can be any number you want. But the other type of integers that we have are consecutive even and consecutive odd integers. Consecutive even integers are even numbers in counting order. Biggest thing is even. Even. Negative 12 is an even number. Think before you shout. What's the next even number? Negative 10. Then negative 8. Okay? Consecutive evens. We always start at n. N is representing negative 12. How do I get to negative 10? Plus, second, 2. N plus 2. How do I get to the next one? N plus 4. Even integers skip 1, right? So you add 2, you add 4, then you would add, then, question.
Why do we use n? Or is that just like your...
You could use x, you could use y, but I don't know. They always use n. It's just a letter. Any variable you want, really. If you want to use x, you can. Yeah. I think because it's a number every time, they use n. All right, we're just going to keep going. Okay. Consecutive odd integers. I bet you can guess the words that I'm going to write down here. Odd numbers. Thatcher, in counting order. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. $57. What's my next odd number?
59.
Then 61. Okay? Guess where I'm going to start? N, because we always start with n. Because n's not a number, but it's just a number or letter that we chose. Appreciate you laughing. That was funny. Many of you didn't get it though. I was making fun of Jackson and nobody caught it. Thank you, I appreciate that. I can't repeat it now, it's not funny. No, okay, if I get 57, okay, 57 is n. How do I get to 59? But it's odds. It is still plus 2. Because you start with an odd number. To get to the next odd number, you still have to add 2 because you're still skipping 1. The biggest mistake made with this, people say, oh, consecutive odds, n plus 1, n plus 3, n plus 5. It doesn't say add odds. It says you need odd integers, which are every other. So if they're consecutive integers, you're adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Even and odds are plus 2 plus 4 plus 6. Okay? Bless you. So for all of these, Mason's going to get really good at writing equations today. We're going to write an equation for the following problems and then solve the equation to answer the problems. I know you guys can guess and check, but you'll earn a 25% on the problem, which is not going to work out well for you in your overall grade. Writing equations is the most important piece. So we read the problem. It says, find 3 consecutive integers with the sum of 21. 2 questions you ask yourself on every single problem today. What kind of integers and how many? So this one just says consecutive and how many? 3. On the left-hand side, the first integer is always represented by n. Now I'm talking consecutive. What's the next integer to get to it? 1 or 2? 1. And the next one? N plus 2. Those are my 3 numbers. Follow me? N is your first one. N plus 1 and N plus 2. 3 consecutive integers. Question? No? Because you have to write an equation. You don't know the answer to this yet. I need to use these 3 integers to show a sum of 21. What does sum mean? Adding. So I need to add up the 3 numbers I just had. Now don't shortcut this. Write it out. N plus N plus 1 plus N plus 2. 3 separate numbers added together gives me 21. Now we finally get to solve. Combine like terms. We're going to fill that in. You'll see in a minute. 3n plus 3 equals, then subtract 3 on both sides. 3n equals 18. Divide by 3. N equals 6. Go to the left-hand side. N equals 6. N plus 1. N plus 2. Now double check. Does that equal 21? 6 and 7 is plus 8. This is your answer. Okay. How many and what kind are the first 2 questions you ask yourself. So let's go to the next one. Find 3 consecutive odd integers with the sum of negative 51. How many? What kind? Ooh, odd. First one is always n, then n plus 2, then n plus 4. Sum means add all of them up, which would look like n plus
N plus 2 plus n. Wait. Yes. Four. Yeah. Equals negative 51. Oh, yeah.
yeah. All right, combine like terms. What do you got? Is it always 3?
What that number is.
If it's 3, if it's 3 consecutive, yes.
Let's find 4 consecutive.
Then Subtract 6 from both sides. 3n equals then
19.
No, it's -19.
it is negative 19. But Miss Hoff, you said we were only going to deal with integers today.
That is an integer.
It is an integer. Yes, you can have negatives, but they should always be whole numbers. So n is negative 19. Think. N plus 2, negative 17. N plus 4, negative 15. Are you sure? Or are you just assuming? That's fair. All right. Well, let's not do that one. Let's go to the next one. Find 4 consecutive even integers that when added to 33 equals 85. Got a whole new ball game here. First 2 questions always. How many? And what kind? How many? 4. What kind? Even. First one I start with. N. N plus 2. N plus 4. N plus 6. Okay. Find 4 consecutive even integers when added to 33 equals 85. Take a minute and see if you can write this equation. Don't solve anything yet. Find 4 consecutive even integers that when added to 33 equals 85. Isaac, what you got?
Oh, n plus 2 plus n plus 4 plus n plus 6 plus 33 equals 85.
Thoughts? I would agree with that. Combining like terms, left-hand side, 4n plus 45 equals 85. Then minus 45, 4n equals 40. Then divide by 4. N equals 10. N plus 2 plus 4. N plus 6. One more and then I'm going to turn you loose. The lesser of 2 consecutive even integers is 10 more than 1/2 the greater. Find the integers. Every single time. I'm not worried about that. Every single time. 2 questions. How many? What kind? How many? 2. What kind? Even. First one? N. And the second one? N plus 2. On your own. See if you can write this equation. Don't solve it. See if you can write this equation. The lesser of 2 consecutive even integers is 10 more than 1/2 the greater. The lesser of 2 consecutive even integers is 10 more than 1/2 the greater. All right, pause your heads. Most of you are incorrect. The lesser of 2 consecutive even integers. What's that mean? It does not mean subtraction. It's the smaller number between the two, which is, how do you know n's smaller? The other one you're adding 2. I don't know what it is, but you're adding 2 to it. So the smaller of the two even integers, n, is in math means equals 10 more than adding half the greater. What's 1/2? 1/2. What's the greater? Now what do you got to have here? Parentheses. Because n plus 2 is a single number. N plus 2 is a single number. So I got to figure out that before I cut it in half. Oh, Nellies. What do I do? You should distribute. Yes? Distribute here. Okay. So I have n, whoopsies. N equals 10. What's 1/2 times n? 1/2 n. What's 1/2 times 2? 1. Now what should I do? I would combine like terms. So n equals 11 plus 1/2 n. At this point, I'm hating fractions. What did we learn yesterday? You can get rid of them. How? Well, I got to multiply by what? The reciprocal will just get rid of the coefficient of the 1. All you need to get rid of is the denominator. In this case, our denominator is, but we got to do that to everything. So I wind up with 2n equals 22 plus, in this case, 1n. Now we're rocking and rolling because, praise the Lord, we don't have any more fractions. Now, subtract 1n to the other side. 2n minus 1n. 1n equals 22. So n is 22. N plus 2 is 24. Now, it says the smaller number is equal to 10 more than half the larger. What's half the larger? 12. Is that 10 more than half the larger? Yeah, 12 plus 10 is 22, yes. Okay, here's the deal. You all get a little cocky after the first couple. It's always 3n. It's always this. It's always that. We always are going to add them together. And then you step on yourself. Okay? Stop and read. Stop and read. This is the last new thing before your quiz on Friday. Your homework is the rest of the worksheet, which is 8 problems. Silently. I will turn the music on so that you don't go crazy and I don't go crazy. I don't want to hear your voices. Once you're done, feel free to put it away and find something school related to work on.